Hey y'all, this is Beth Bond coming to you again to talk about what if gift giving was sustainable. This is the second episode in our series of three-part series on gift giving, and we're specifically sort of focusing on corporate gift giving in this series. And I just wanted to share today with you 3 tips to help make your gift giving more sustainable. In the first episode, which you can see in the show notes below, you can get the link to that, we sort of discussed the why. And today we're going to talk about the what. So what can I do to make my gift giving more sustainable? What are some tips and tricks to do that? And how can I feel good about what I'm doing to thank my clients, but also take care of the planet? All right, let's get to tip 1. So I have 3 tips and a bonus, because I can't count, to share with you today to help make your gift giving more sustainable and less wasteful. So the first one is don't accept the default. Now, you know, part of the corporate gift giving experience is you're going to be buying from a company. Maybe it's online, or maybe you've got a local vendor, and they're going to help you put together gifts. But online, of course, it's a default. You know, you don't really get a chance to customize that basket. So one of the things is don't accept the default. Don't accept, you know, that the vendor's going to put a bunch of shred in there or products that don't really reflect your thing. As you can see, you look at this basket and it looks beautiful, but there's just tons of products, and unfortunately, if you read all the ingredients on the box, it would not represent our conversation that we have in the sustainability community about being organic or local or anything like that. So don't just assume that you have to accept what's being presented. Go out and actually talk to a basket builder and tell them what you're looking for, and they may be able to help steer you in something that's more acceptable. I do want to give a fair warning is we stated in the first video, basket people aren't necessarily up to date with what sustainability folks are thinking about. So you might have to do a little guidance and correct them. I was working with my basket person, and they thought they had a non-GMO product, and it was just a plug on the box to say non-GMO, and that really didn't mean anything. If it's not USDA organic certified, or if it's not non-GMO project verified, then a non-GMO graphic button means nothing. So it may take a little education, but don't accept the default. You know, be creative in creating your baskets. Let's move on to tip number 2. Tip number 2, ditch the stuff that stuffs. This is really where you can have a lot of value in reducing the waste of a basket. Now, sometimes the stuffing is great and it's neat for shipping, and I'm not saying that the stuff that protects the stuff shouldn't be used, but a lot of times stuff is used as filler. We talked about, once again, this in the first video too, that it's shredded paper or straw, and you know, it just hangs out, and a lot of times when you start to deconstruct the basket, it gets all over the place and makes a mess anyway. So when it comes to stuffing your basket or your gift, think about de-stuffing it from all this stuff that is all the shred and straw that it actually ends up being sort of wasteful. I like to think that if you're not going to use it, one of the reasons they put it in the basket beyond filling the basket is it sort of holds things in place. But if you're not using a basket, which we'll talk about in tip 3, then it's not as important an issue. So avoid and by the way, you are getting charged for the stuff that stuffs. So to avoid some cost and put more money in the value of the items, get rid of the paper shred, get rid of the straw, and help your clients not make a mess all over the place. And let's reduce that's one of the biggest places we can reduce the waste that goes into corporate gift giving. Here's tip number 3. Think outside the basket. What dictates that it has to come in a basket at all, right? Granted, I mean, the gift basket, corporate gifting agenda, it presents very nice. You can see everything that's in the basket, but isn't it sort of fun to open up something? It's almost like you're unwrapping it, and maybe you're unwrapping something that can actually be used again. So when you're thinking about what the container is going to be for that corporate gift, think outside the basket. One of the other things that's a real concern about the basket is it's not as reusable as other items might be. So I sort of like the idea of putting things in bags or jars, because they're much more reusable than the basket is. And besides, you can also control the sort of the ingredients of the bag or the jar, right? I mean, a jar is a jar, and we all know what to do with a jar, but a bag, might be used for shopping, or it might be used for taking advantage of storing stuff at the office, or maybe the kids get it, and maybe it becomes a toy bag for the to-go toy bag for the kids. So a bag is really a great opportunity. The other nice thing about a bag is it also gives you the opportunity to customize it. So the customization, you can put your logo on there, you can put a saying on it, and really make it, more of a message than just a bag. So tip number 3, think outside the basket. So here's the bonus tip, which is reduce even more. First of all, I want you to think about, as you're sort of streamlining your gifts and making them maybe more compact and reducing some of the largesse that ends up really being waste. This will help the carbon footprint of your package, right? Because most of these will probably be shipped or delivered, and so when you're reducing the bulk, you're actually reducing the cost it's going to be to ship. So that's a green tip, like ka-ching money, and it's a green tip to help the planet. The other thing is I look at a lot of these prescribed baskets, and all I see is cardboard. It's got great variety, and I know everyone likes variety, but look at this picture. What do you see? All I see is packaging. I don't see a lot of food, and it's almost like it reminds me of Gordon Ramsay, where he always goes into restaurants and tells them to take away 75% of the menu, that there's too many options. And I think that we interpret culturally that having a bunch of options or a bunch of different items is actually a good thing, when I would like to suggest that maybe having a few really good high quality items is better than having a bunch of cardboard. And remember, in all this cardboard, almost all of this contains plastic packaging too. So you're never going to get rid of plastic, but maybe giving higher quality gifts will help you reduce some of the bulk, which once again, ka-ching, saves you money. So I hope that you enjoyed this episode. We are going to do one more episode on this issue, and I hope that you're learning a lot and thinking a lot about it. And we've sort of addressed the why in the episode 1, and episode 2 we've addressed the what, like how can we do it, and now we're going to address in episode 3 sort of the how can we really implement this beyond what we've learned so far. So I hope you'll join us in the 3rd episode, and I hope that you're enjoying this series. If you are, please leave a comment on the page. I've been producing these in YouTube, so y'all can give me thumbs up, thumbs down. You can share them easily. Leave me a comment. I got a comment in the last one that the music wasn't so great, so I've changed the music for that comment, and we'll see you in the next episode of 3 and what is sustainable giving.